Alright, it looks like we're live. For those of you watching, let me know if the levels are okay. Music's not too loud, anything like that. I have a feeling the music might be a bit loud. Let me see. Alright, maybe the music will be a bit loud, maybe it won't be, we'll see. Oh, I can throw on headphones, look at that. I can totally hear what's going on. Alright. Alright, so let's switch over here. Okay, so this is kind of, I don't know, I'd say it's kind of a holiday stream, kind of a new embarking on kind of what we want to do. This is a new project I want to be working on. We've been running in our local kind of beginner league at our friendly local gaming store. We've been running an inquisitorial campaign, and basically it's just adding inquisitorial elements to your forces and all that. And I've been using it as a modeling excuse to kind of I don't know, get ahead on a few of the little projects that have been sitting on the back burners for ever and ever and ever. So my plan here is to absolutely hammer down and get these guys all finished up. So before we get going on that, I'm going to post a little bit about Manny here and kind of what he's about. So I'll switch over to him. I'll switch over to Past Me. Hi everyone, this is Past Me with Past Manny here, and I just wanted to take just a quick heads up here before we do all the priming, and I wanted to talk about recycling this old Dreadnought. This is actually an old World Trader Dreadnought, oh man, the model quality is not as good as the current model, that is for sure. And of course I wanted to use him as a sentinel, but since the Inquisition is using old relics and all of that, I wanted to use this guy. So one of the pieces that I was up and missing was this piece right here that kind of snaps into the main body. There's a big ring there, snaps into the main body, and you glue the arm to it. Now I didn't have one of those, so I thought, well, since I'm going to be using it as kind of a sentinel, I took a this guy right here is it's basically the internal Space Marine driver from the Rhino kit, or any of the Space Marine vehicle sprues. This guy here is part of the Grey Knight's side cannon, the heavy side cannon there, and of course I've got a Cadian autocannon here from the heavy weapons team, and then I've got another Dreadnought shield sitting right here. So still has all the kind of main hitting points of the Inquisition, but really neat little old model to use, so I wanted to make sure I used them. Now the mold lines are definitely a real thing, and I tried to get as much of them down as I possibly could, but I mean this is some heavy hitting stuff. A side note of little bits of humor, I don't know if the camera can pick up on it, but there's a little B to show you which leg goes in there, and there's an A to show you which leg goes in here, and it was actually part of the sculpts to help you put it all together before they did instructions and all of that. So the intention here now is to get them all primed up, and then we'll cut back to present me, and we'll see how Manny looks, and we'll get them all painted up for the stream. All right, that's kind of the idea of what I wanted to accomplish with Manny here. I wanted to have him set up as a sentinel and have him kind of take on that kind of totally not Ironhide kind of role in the whole thing. So obviously I've got my old Dready here, and I got a couple new bits on, which I kind of previewed in that little video there. And I mean, the model quality is not amazing. This is one of the first kind of models G-Dub had out of the gates. So for me, I think I just want to make sure that I'm doing something a little different and unique with him. So he's much smaller than a regular Dreadnought, clearly. So yeah, I got him set up as a sentinel, and I've got some guardsman type guys that I want to involve in the whole process as well, and they're made up of some old Bretonnian guys. So I guess the thing is just going to be just kind of painting this guy up and going from there. So apologies for the webcam here. Basically, the plan is to take all the revenue from the channel and donations and stuff, get a couple new webcams, and start doing more of this kind of streaming thing. It's seems to be a decent way to go, and it's nice to be able to connect with everybody out there. So let's give it a whirl. So I'm going to start off here with our Mephiston Red, and the plan actually is going to be to do a bunch of quartering with our dudes. So I'm going to pick a half up here, and off we go. And to give you an idea of kind of what I'm looking for, let's swap this out here. So this is Inquisitor Verus, and I call him the Sean Connery model. He's one of the old original Inquisitors, and he's pretty solid, actually. I like the model quite a bit. He's super small, obviously, compared to the other guys, but I took some of the old metal Grey Knight arms and threw them on, and I'm really just liking the way that he turned out. So he's basically the start of this Inquisition army. Now I've got some Grey Knights and I've got some Death Watch, so I'll be constantly adding to that Inquisition, under the Inquisition banner type thing. So it should be pretty cool. Anyway, so I'm going to be going for that kind of quartered look as well. You can see he's got white up top and white on the sides. And he's got kind of red across diagonally. He's not perfectly quartered up at the top, but we'll remedy that with our friend Manny here. So, all right. So you know what I might do? Actually, I might just go and do a little bit of the quartering with the pens. Now I've got one of these Micron pens, and these things are worth their weight in gold. They're just awesome. Really dig them. So, all right. So I'm just going to grab this guy here, and we'll start the quartering process. Now, obviously, it's it's not going to be too tough to see where the quarter is, because these lines are so bad, these mold lines. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having them painted up and just being something different and unique on the table for sure. So I'm just going to draw my line kind of halfway up. You'll even see that his antenna and everything are not exactly halfway. But the primer and all that, I mean, the mold lines do serve for sure. Kind of get us going in that halfway point. This is going to be pretty rough. Now I'm going to be kind of iterating back and forth as I go. See how this goes. Yeah, the old face is killer, man. This is awesome. The big bug face. It's not going to be a perfect halfway. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I thought it'd be kind of a fun kind of last stream before the holidays type thing. Alright. So I'm going to go, I guess when I quarter him, it'll be right off of this seam right here, maybe. Yeah, I think that'll be a good match, because that's right above the legs. We'll cut maybe a little higher. Or we'll go back, try something a little different there. It even shows up on the camera there. I'm going to cut in over the legs onto the two seams that are here. And that'll break them up pretty nicely, I think, for our quarters. Alright. Nice. Alright. So being done with the quartering now, I'm just going to grab my Mephiston Red. I'm going to start in pretty much right away. See if I can get that the quartering all done. So I'm going to bring my Inquisitor back. So whenever I do quartering, whether it's a Rhino or a tank or a Land Raider or whatever, I'm going to do it from the perspective of the front, because either when the army's on display or what your opponent's going to see, that's kind of what you want to kind of rig it up as. So I'm going to grab my Mephiston Red. Try to water it down a little bit here. Right. Alright, and I'll just start applying that red. Because it's a base paint, it'll go over pretty much anything. And right away we can see that the model's going to pick up character. It's just such a nice red. So good. Don't need to do his eyes quite yet. And of course, we'll be going in with Lead Belcher and mixing it all up that way as well. Now, so the quarter is going to be on the top right. Like this. And then, in addition to that, he'll be on the bottom left as well. Yeah, definitely going back to the old school Heresy kind of quartering. That's always so therapeutic. It's kind of a pain doing base colors, to be honest. They just never seem to go on as fast as you'd like. And you kind of pick a kind of a ruddy brush and you get in there and you do it and you do multiple coats, as Duncan Rhodes would say. It goes pretty quick, especially if we're doing white on the basing for the rest of the models. But yeah, it's one of the things I really want to kind of get underway before the holidays hit this year. the white for the snow, and the red for our friend here. Awesome. Now, following this line here, again, I'm going to go in, start that quarter at the bottom. So the other quarter is going to be white and red up here. And again, the base coating stuff is just takes forever. But it's neat to see kind of right away the model taking shape. Yeah, and you can see just how ruddy and gross the casting was. But hopefully we can bring it to life a little bit here with some color and a little bit of effort on our part. The nice thing about having the autocannon on top too, I think your eyes will just get drawn to that. Yeah, I mentioned it in the preview video, the the A and the B on the inside of the legs and stuff are priceless. That was hilarious. Absolutely killed me. Yeah, having a little pop of color is always nice. I love this red. Just super bright, super characterful. I was trying to figure out initially what you want to do with an idea for a model. Always tricky. Sometimes I like looking at my older models or some of the stuff that you pick up at a kind of a bring and buy or like a bits trade or something like that. I always want to kind of look and see what they've got going on until I get a better picture of what's going on with this leg. I'm just gonna slop red on there. But on the plus side, if you keep your coats down nice and light, it works out pretty well. You can always come in and tap up with the white after as well, which is cool. Balance it out a little bit better. Alright. and pretty sharp. Nice. So we'll start that off with coat 1. And then I'll grab my white. So next up here, we're going to start with White Scar. And we're just going to go over the metallic plates. You'll see that the primer went on a little cloudy and a couple bits messed up. Just the angle that I was priming him at up here. So I'm just going to go over the white, just with a very light, super light coat of White Scar. And of course, the intention behind that is to just get that little bit of white back on top again. Brings a lot of that white back, or brings it to the model, I guess. And you'll see here that my white is pretty thin going on. It tends to thicken up quite a bit, the paint. So I try and thin it out wherever I can. And remember, it doesn't have to be super white going on. This is pretty white. But we'll be washing it later. So just making sure I kind of top up all the primer areas and then give it just a little bit extra texture here as I go over. Nothing huge. And with this model, you're not gonna wreck a whole bunch of detail. All right. Throw the model around the room. Good call. All right. Good for a start, that's for sure. Top up in different spots where I can. Nice. Looking good. All right. So again, just to kind of touch up certain areas, and I will pick at it as we go, you'll see that for sure. I got White Scar, I've got just in red so far. And next up, shake the crap out of it, but we're going to go with Lead Belcher. We're just going to start kind of finalizing off our different elements of the weapons and the stacks in the back and all kind of the functional little bits as well. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. All right. Here we go. Gonna lean pretty heavily on kind of the metallic features of the old Dreadnought here. And I'm gonna do that because we've got things like all this cool ribbing that'll pick up the wash really, really well. And it'll be an easy scheme for the, well, just kind of for the rest of the models, if we can get as much of those metallic elements in as we can. Work out pretty nice. See, what do we got? We got these pieces in the back here as well. Leave that armor intact there. My way around. Kind of tricky to see on the camera, but let's sneak in there. Just adjusting the tablet up here. All right, what else? Oh, up in here, we gotta do. But yeah, the year in review's been pretty solid. I've grown a lot on the channel. We've got a whole bunch of new people coming in every day, which is really sweet. And I'm actually making a little bit of revenue at it. When I say a little bit, I mean it's not very much at all. And the idea here is to kind of, start really kind of pushing for something a little stronger, a little bit of a stronger presence here. Not going to change the world or anything, but just really kind of just go out there and just do some common sense type stuff. Once we get the Poxwalkers, well, they're all finished right now. Once we get the Death Guard guys all finished, then I want to start doing kind of tutorials, like just the basics of, how to take a first turn and kind of things to consider when you're putting your army together, and not necessarily advanced tactics, but really just really chill, kind of real cool types of, approaches to games and all that. And I think we'll start doing some casting of games. Hopefully we can get some, decent webcams going on and all that. Then we'll be able to broadcast this stuff, and it'll be fun. It'll be new and different and unique. I'm looking for all the metallic bits on this guy. Starting with these kind of ribbed pieces here first, and working my way around. Yeah, here. Yeah, it sure is interesting to see this old Dreadnought kicking around. Hopefully it turns out. But again, it's not going to be, like a major focal point of all my games. But yeah, it'll be neat to see how he turns out. And you can chase the Inquisitor around and protect him. And you can put an autocannon on, if you treat him just like a sentinel. He'll have all those benefits kind of associated with him. Trying to get in here and get all the handles and all the equipment and all that. And I think I'm going to do steady hands here. I'm going to do the side piece as well. Yeah. I like it now. Looking really good. I'm just going to do this whole kind of extra section that was in here with Lead Belcher. Going to have this really heavy mechanical element to the Dread / Sentinel here. It'll kind of draw your eye into that cannon. Alright. Continue that around on the front here. The added benefit of having these lights is it really dries the paint quickly. So we can get those rings going pretty quickly here. And if we do the wash, it'll be super straight up, nice and easy, look good. And it'll blend the look and feel of the model together pretty quickly, I think. I'm just kind of going over, finding all the spots that seem like they would make a great kind of metallic piece here. I'm just hitting it. I know it seems like I'm kind of all over the place. I'm just hitting it from the different angles. Trying to get a sense of balance and trying to get a sense of kind of the color that's going on with these. Yeah, looking good. Mechanism here. This guy running around, got a new mount of an autocannon and just loving it. On top of the shoulder pads here, we've got this little bit of texture, which I'm sure we can dig into. Yeah, not too many tutorials on painting these old guys, eh? There's a mouthpiece in here as well. And that old school insecty mouth look to him. We'll do the bottom panel here as well. Nice. The camera can get in here, but this whole kind of undercarriage as well. What actually carries up from the back. The other thing I like about this is it's much easier if you're just kind of experimenting around with a different model or a different painting technique or something. What's kind of nice about this is you can really just, if it's a one-off model, I mean, you can just pound away at it, and if you're not happy with it, it's no big loss. It's not like you're painting like a battalion of dudes and having them all not work out. So it's kind of nice to have that bit of a freedom and not really caring as much to get it all sorted out. This looks like a big aluminum diaper. Alright. Big wheels and pistons on the legs and the arms. Maybe I do something with that. Yeah, maybe. Make these joins here do something like that. You know what? Let's give that a go. I'm just going to amplify these up a little bit here. In between here and it looks like that's it there. And that on the legs. Those wheels can stay on their own, but maybe we'll do the flexible parts in between. And again, being pretty sloppy is fine. You can always catch up to it later. Yeah, so really layering on the lead belcher to pick out all the mechanical components will give us a lot of depth for our friend here. Even if you're rubbing the paint off with your fingers. There's a little handle up here. Yeah, and he sure does look pretty messy, kind of from the get-go here. That is for sure. Now for the game, I think these bolters, which are kind of part and parcel with the Dread, are not going to come off. But we'll paint them up just the same. Who knows, we can call him a Storm Bolter maybe, I don't know. And it's kind of tough to tell with the old casings because they're not really that defined. Was here before. Man, there's metal everywhere. Who knew on a big robot there'd be lots of metal? Possible to tell. On the plus side, it really starts to take on kind of a definition of its own. And base coating is just one of those things where you just keep working away till all the white is gone on your model. Another big advantage of the white primers. There's all kinds of iconography on here as well. Yeah, it's funny painting so much detail on the weapon, and there is like almost no detail on this other model. Big cranks on the autocannon and everything. Sorry for painting in the shadow there. It's kind of a tricky spot to get to. Right. Base coat, base coat, base coat. Plug, plug, plug. Right. I'm moving around to second coat territory on this side. On some of these I'll just paint the small pin And then I'll go back in with the other color later and tidy it up. Alright. What am I missing here? Let's see. Bottom of the bolter. With this stuff, it's always an iterative process. You just keep moving through. Man, these old bolter casings are just horrible. All right. What are we doing here? Electronic elements down here. The random gubbins that aren't flat. I'll peg that as well. And coat on the mouthpiece there. Nice. Alright. I think we need a bit more weight in these pieces here, so I'll take these buckles, these components here. You know what? Change my mind. Get some water on there. Just thin it down a bunch. Get back to that. Alright, so I think what the plan is now, I'll take the, I'll do in behind those pieces. Just these little radial discs here. And then I'll do the other in color. The radial discs will look like this. And then the covers will be the color of the armor. I'll do these guys in red, while that thinner part chills out on the other side there. All right. We'll top up this color. Nice. Do the same with the two pieces here. The edge. And then I'll finish up these armor plates on the outside as well. Nice. Tidy that up a little bit. Looks good. Really nice. So part of me suspects that I'm not going to see all the details till I wash it, so I might be recalibrating a little bit here as we go. So far, so good. I think I'm going to do a bit of the Grey Knight kind of half paneling here. I'll rough it in. I think it's got to be a little tighter, but start with the rough in process. About half, not quite. You need to come down a little bit more, but I do like that kind of corner to corner look. Oh, maybe I'll keep it. Let's see. All right. Not too bad. I think the next was going to be the... well, maybe like a little bit more red to top up to finish it off. There. Nice. And then this guy over here, have all that casing be in red. Sweet. Then I'll do the hands here. I'll have them all done in red as well. Kind of matching the older school Dreadnoughts. And there's a lot of extra filler in here. So gaps and spaces. So I think I'll use that. Just to fill in with red. And see where the wash takes us when we're ready to go. Alright. Tricky to get in there. But again, when we're just base coating, I mean, we'll let the wash kind of pick out all the details for us as well. Just make sure we get a nice solid coat of color on there. Actually doesn't look half bad with the that kind of ribbing in there on the arm, and then the casings over top. I'm actually pretty pleased with that. Nice. Yeah, very not detailed model. Yeah, looking good. I can coat this guy up here. Yeah, and when it's really watered down, sometimes it pulls away from the edges, so we'll have to go back and revisit, I guess. Okay, so we got white on the other side. Part of me is wondering with the casings if maybe we should do it in black. Just give it a little bit more punch here. All right, give the black a good shake. So I think I'll do any of the weapon casings in black. And I'll move over to kind of a more detailed brush here. And I'll be using a Baden black to kind of mark out the weapons. Black is kind of a surprisingly tricky color to paint. Can't really low light it all that much, but you can definitely highlight it. So maybe we'll be using that to our advantage with the wash and all that. Maybe we can just dry brush some Eshin Gray or something on there and figure it out. And throw my brush across the room. Good call. Now the problem with thinning your black down, when you're trying to cover on white, it gets a little tricky to do. We just need a couple coats to build it up. I think it'll be fine. There's enough model here that by the time we get to one end, I'm sure we'll be able to get it all going later. Nice. Yeah, it's always my favorite part of the process is when you're doing base coating, as tedious as it is, you kind of get to see the model come to life from just primer. It's really sweet. There's an Aquila tucked in here. Gotta make sure we don't tap that. Right. Bad. Oh man, painting with black on white. Not too bad. The problem is I keep touching the model and I keep pulling paint off with my fingertips, so in any of the painting videos you'll see all these little lops of color. As they come off of my fingers. Crazy. Of course I miss spots all the time. Only upon further kind of review that I get to see the stuff. Work around the color. And what I needed to go in there with a little bit of lead belcher. Alright, I'm gonna get the black on while I'm here and then just go back for the lead belcher later. Pick. Right. So I'll start moving with the black on the bolters. Looks horrible, but it'll all get two coated, so we'll pick all that color up again in a minute. Bolters are kind of a weird configuration, so they're kind of like a castle. It's got this weird kind of set of shielding and different elements that are in here. Make it really odd paint. Clearly I'm really focused. Weird kind of setup here. Alright. Again, we'll probably do a big pile of corrections once we get the washes going. Keep working our way through. Yeah, pretty messy nonetheless. But again, we'll see how the things just kind of come out once we get all the shading all done. We can always go back. And the nice thing about Lead Belcher is it's such an aggressive base color. It's got so much pigment in it. So it really helps us go back in and kind of touch up details if we missed it. Yeah, and it's just so hard. And sometimes you go on the other side and you'll see that there's a line here on the bolter. Just gives us a little bit more detail as to what's going on with the thing. He's definitely getting some more personality to him for sure. Coming together now. Yeah, loads more to do. But like I said, we'll start getting the personality coming out pretty quickly here. There's a big casing here in black as well. Now we can start going over that second bit. It's all kind of dried off, so we'll do that second coat and really bring out the depth of that black with our Abaddon black. Yeah, coming together nice now. Alright guys, I'm going to do a quick be right back. I'm just going to tuck a kid who's up way too late in. I'll be back in a sec. All right. Problem with teens is they never want to go to bed, and then they want to go to bed when it's when you're in the middle of something for sure. But hey, small price to pay for being a parent. All right, back to it. Where was I? Black. And it's not too bad. Like, it's going to come together fairly nice. I'm just going to fill in a bit of the black stuff here. And I'm going to come back at it with a little bit of the A little bit of gold for the Aquilae and all of that stuff. A little sloppy and messy right now, for sure. Alright. Okay, so with the lead belcher, there's a couple spots I noticed I want to get back to. Looks like he's got something on his kind of heels or right behind his knees there. Work on that. Right. Just these little knobs out the back here, probably. Nice to get that little hit of metal back there. Good. Yeah, it looks absolutely horrible. I love the pre-wash stage for sure. All the colors aren't blocked in and solid, and you don't have any kind of solid lines going on anywhere. Hilarious. What am I doing with this piece up front? Maybe metal? Yeah, maybe. His on-off switch on his forehead there. Let's give that a whirl. And again, we can all come in and tidy it up. Tidy it all up after. Anything going on up here? Oh yeah, we wanted to do up here, didn't we? Oh yeah, that's a tricky spot. Alright. Use the edge of my brush. Just carefully work that band on the ammo container here. Magazine. Right, I can always fix that with black later for sure. Alright. I'll just throw a bit more metallic back here just to give it a little bit of pop and some variation of color. Alright. Get into all these little weird spots in the back. I remember painting these when they were from the Cadian Heavy Weapons teams. I didn't put a lot of effort into them at all initially, for sure. But there's loads of detail, so when you wash it, it kind of all comes out in the wash. I know it's cliche, sorry. Alright. Get it in here. Might be out of frame for a second, but there we are. Okay. We'll do the stacks on the back as well, get those caught up. Switch out to that heavier brush. Man, I don't know what's going on with my paint. See, it's all kind of coming out, and I know I can go in and fix it, but every time I open it, I'm getting little paint dots all over my hand. Pretty crazy. Alright. Got all distracted by myself. Oh, the stacks, that's right. Smoky smokestacks. Those fusion reactor guys need smokestacks. Totally. Oh, there's those rails on the back too. If you guys see anything, feel free to catch me up and let me know what I'm missing here. Get that piecing line again down there. Alright. Pretty cool. Right, I think next up we should work on some of our gold pieces, our Aquilae. So, right, Retributor armor. You'll notice there's a few colors that I pretty much stick to in the painting videos, and so ironically, they're the ones that are sitting in front of me. So they're the ones I use. So now they're in the painting videos, and so now they're in front of me, and round and round and round we go. It's pretty crazy, but not too bad. All right. I'm going to use our Retributor armor now, and I'll tag this Aquilae up here. Of course, Retributor armor's got such a nice, again, it's a wonderful base paint. It's just awesome. Snag tons of detail. All right. Good. Is there anything else we wanted in here? Is it just that? No. No, I wanted to do the inside of the shell casings for the autocannon here. Well, that's what I wanted to do. I knew, was there another one? I knew. Right. And that is not shell casing, that's outer case there. Nice. Right. Okay, coming together. I'll top up those two, I'll top up just the last little bit of that magazine up top with the belcher for this handle component. Now here I just see that he's off. These guys are good. Okay, that's all nice. And then I'll do the Abaddon black, or sorry, Abaddon black. Just kind of top up that case at the very, very top there. Alright. Nice and easy. Perfect. Yeah, it's all pretty rough copy kind of stuff everywhere. And afterwards you can go in and hit it pretty hard. Touch everything up once you kind of get a placement of to where everything's going to be. Yeah, love it. Alright, Manny, you're taking shape, pal. Alright, I'll fix up that white on the shield there. Big old Dreadnought shield. Alright. Oh, screwed it up already. I'm painting a straight line. Not bad. I'll let that kind of base up a bit there. That'll be in pretty good stead. I'll tidy up the legs and around here. Oh, we didn't do these rings, did we? Alright, we'll fix that. And then we'll get this piece up top. The shoulder blades there. Shoulder blades? Shoulder pads. Shoulder pieces. Shoulder elements. Shoulder things. Alright. Slowly work our way around so we don't undo too much of all the stuff we just did. Beautiful. Awesome. Okay, well, I'll get those rings on the arms kind of all settled out as well. Alright. Very good. Loving the way they turn it out. Alright. So far so good. On the back of the shield I'll have to get that sorted out as well. I'm just finding all the spots that need a little bit of metallic love, but these guys might get a little bit of back and forth with the kind of the lead belcher and all that. The bolters are just a mess, like detail-wise. They're just, all the details kind of in the wrong spot. But it's a challenge, right? Challenge I will gladly take on. You also mucky. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Next up, let's get some paint on the base of this thing. Okay, I can do that. Be right back. I'm just going to change out my water. It's pretty gross. It's a little red, a little metallic. It's a little bit of black in there. So I'm going to do a quick change out, and I'll be back in 1 sec. One more. Be right back. All right. To it. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of Tolaran sand, and I'm just going to put it in a squeeze bottle off to the side. So it's Tolaran sand. I know I don't have the paint pot in front of me here, but I watered this down quite a bit because I want it for our base. And this guy's going to have to fit in all of our other guys. So I do the I do that grassland space, and I put a tutorial up as well. So it's the Tolaran sand, Administratum Grey, and Steel Legion Drabber on the outside. So I'm going to make use of that, and I'm going to get this Tolaran sand onto the base of our guy here. And of course, when you start to finish off the base, it adds a load more character to the model itself, which is great. It gives them some depth and something to contrast against. Works out really well. And I'm just doing this now so I can contrast. When I wash, I can wash the whole model and get the base down at the same time. All right. Nothing like base coating bases, eh? I was laughing in my tutorial video on this. I said that it's the irony never gets lost on me that you take sand and rock and you paint it and prime it, and then you paint it, or sorry, you prime it and then you paint it to look like, you know, sand and rock. It's hilarious. Love that. All right. I'm just trying to be careful not to get that on my existing paint here. Always a bit of work making sure you don't bone up your whole model. Time invested though, right? Done all your stuff like I just did. That's where you find out you glued something really weird on the base or what have you, right? Alright. Plug. Oh, the base coating the base. Very tedious indeed. But again, it just kind of starts finishing off the model, so you get a little bit of kind of a weird momentum when you take off. You start doing stuff like this. Oh, painted on the base, on the foot. Ah. No worries, we can correct. Alright, I think we're pretty good for this now. And spots missed, just on the edge. Alright, looking good. So while he's drying on the base, do a final kind of check on the top. Really good. Alright, looking good. We can add in a little bit more of our rock detail. We'll do that with our stratum gray. And it's really awesome getting that kind of final stage done, which is pretty huge. Let's see. Okay, stratum gray time. And water that down even more. Pretty thick. So I used to do this all in one color. Now I just do it in two, because it adds just a little bit extra personality here. Base of the model. Nice. Yeah, coming together really well. Plug away. Switch them around and make sure you get the rocks at the back, which there are loads. Again, once it's done, it's nice to have it all done. You can move on to your wash stage. Still glob in there, that's still quite wet. The tiller and sand there. Right, not bad. The big trick with painting is just keeping a momentum, having a sense of urgency about it instead of standing there staring at your models. I think I run into that all the time, where I just look at all the projects I have on the go, and I think for me it's just really important that you just, well, to be honest, you just up and finish something as I'm starting a new guy. But the nice thing about single models like this, or a Dread, or these Redemptor, or if you're painting any of the big Sigmar models, the nice thing is if you just got the one model, you can really dive into it and, you know, keep that momentum strong all the way through. Nice. Really good. Right. So I'll take our red. I'll touch up that foot just so that I have it back to where I want to right before the wash, which is great. on the left foot there, I'll just restore. I guess it'll be his right foot. Restore just a little bit of the color that I took off there. Ring of red going here too. So now I'm kind of going that dummy check where I just kind of go around the model, making sure I got caught up on all the things I wanted to catch up on. And looks pretty good, all things being equal. Target around the eye and all that. Right. Good, okay. So I think what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to do the final kind of check on here, and then we'll come back on the next stream and we'll wash it. Or I'll wash it in between streams. Maybe I'll just wash it now. Kind of continue along with the project a little bit later on. All right. Yeah, I think I was planning on washing it, but base is still pretty dry, and it's just gonna totally murderize it. But what I might do is kind of do a quick lead out. And I'll just start with the just kind of the wash on the model itself, and then I'll come back and finish the base once it's dried. And so I've got this wash that I have. It's a big, gross custom wash here. It's 25% Agrax Earthshade, 25% Nuln Oil, and then 50% floor wax. And you can see it's even settling the pigment out at the bottom a little bit here. So I'm just going to shake this up to make sure I get all that pigment kind of unsettled and back into the solution. Nope. And so I'm just going to keep shaking until I have it mixed really nicely. And then after that, I'll head out, almost there. After that, I might just call this a quick stream here. See how this works. I've got some new cameras. I've got two of them actually. The new Logitech 922X, whatever it is, and they look awesome. And so I'm going to be going in. This stuff's pretty muddy and mucky. I'm just going to slop it on my Dreadnought here, and you can see that immediately brings out all that detail. I just love seeing that wash touch down on the model. It really brightens it up. And if you're doing anything kind of in the mechanical department, it all settles in really nicely. You know, with the white and the red and all of that. It's also nice because it gives a little bit of a texture to the white. So even though it was primer, it kind of fixes onto the primer and makes it more rougher. Rougher's the word, I guess. And all that does is it just allows us to come back in later with that paint and go over top. So again, a lot of detail was kind of hidden from us, and it just kind of it just kind of starts coming out when we wash it, and then we know where to paint on after. So I'm just gonna make sure that there's not a lot of pooling on here. I try and dodge as much of that pooling as I can. That'll bring out all the metallics. And one white spot that I just totally missed. Nice. Good call, me. Nice. Did miss it on the other side. Well, I guess I didn't have to. It was already white. All right. Keep washing through, sinking into all that detail. And again, yeah, I can totally see where things are supposed to be now. In theory. Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm not pooling anywhere. And the washes, once it's thinned out, you can see it kind of settling in at the top there. You can apply it pretty fast and furious, and it just has that tendency of just kind of sinking in all the detail. And again, just the pooling is what you really have to kind of be careful of. But in here you'll see we got the autocannon all coming together, which is great. Beautiful. And you also got to kind of do the dummy check, look inside to make sure that you got all the insides of the arms. Yeah, look at that, just totally out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind. And make sure we catch all that stuff while I'm here. Up in here as well. And again, looks really muddy. Pretty gross right now. But then what we'll do is we'll come back in and we'll reapply a bunch of the color, and so it'll give us our gradation and our depth. You could also play with it like this. I mean, our friend Manny here is pretty old. We leave him pretty dirty, but no, I'm looking forward to just get that pooling off. I'm looking forward to just kind of getting him into a space where we can start topping up the main colors. There's that A in there. That's absolutely hilarious. And the B over in the other foot. But you can even see with the little leg bits in here, the little leg joins, that the detail just totally pops right out. It's awesome. Alright. I missed a couple spots. I think we're essentially good to go. I have no idea what to do about that AB, or just leave it in for humor. Maybe that's the plan. What are we doing for colors? We're still pretty muddy back there, I think. I think we're going to have to let it sit. Alright, so the next job for me here is I'm going to let this sit for an hour or two, a couple hours. Truth is, I'm going to let it sit overnight, but if you're just washing it on your own, the floor wax actually accelerates the drying, which is kind of neat. And it goes through pretty quick. Alright. Well, kind of on our way. Mr. Wash aside here. So once that base dries, I'll just apply the wash to the base as well. And bringing back our Inquisitor, you can already see kind of what we're going for in terms of a paint scheme. So I think it'll be neat for him having that backup in behind him as we go. So don't get me wrong, Manny's going to spend an awful lot of time walking around on my table here. It'll be great. Really, really cool. Okay, so yeah, I think that'll be it. If you like the stream, obviously, you know, leave some feedback down below. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, the cameras need an adjustment, but they'll be on the way soonish. And then, you know, like I said, I'll take any revenue that I kind of make from the next little bit here, and I'm just going to be improving on kind of constantly how things are delivered and the quality of delivery as well. And yeah, so if you like the stream, hit that like button. It super helps getting the video and the channel up there. There's a lot of more higher definition content on the rest of the channel if you're looking for any of the current models. And subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, or if you want to see any of the notifications of all the other videos that are coming out. Just hit that little bell by the subscribe button, and it'll flag you whenever we do something fun. Alright, so thanks a lot for watching, guys. We got about halfway through, which is great, and then we'll work pretty hard on getting Mr. Manny ready to protect our Inquisitor as we go. Alright, thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next video.